In this video, I'm going to teach you how to do a simple plain stitch. Before we get started, make sure that your fabric is placed right sides together. This fabric doesn't have right and wrong sides, it's the same on both sides. But if your fabric does have a right side and a wrong side, place the two right sides so that they are kissing, and then put your pins perpendicular to the direction in which you will be sewing. So what I've done on this machine is I've added a guide. Okay, a seam guide. This piece of tape is on the 5/8 of an inch line here, and I'm going to line up the right edge of my fabric with the left edge of this tape. Okay, what I want to do is put the fabric so that the very top of it is close to where the needle will be when I lower the presser foot. Okay, so line that up, lower the presser foot. Now that this is kind of secure, you can take out your first pin right here if you would like to. The first step is making sure that you have a nice tail of thread here so that the thread doesn't jump back up into the machine and unthread itself. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this first pin here and stick it back in my pin cushion, not onto the table, please. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go 3 stitches forwards. Okay, and then we're going to hold down our reverse button right here and then do 3 stitches backwards. Ideally you'd be holding this, but I have a camera in my hand. Okay, so ideally you'd have one hand here. Okay, now that you've gone back 3 stitches, you're going to sew down the rest of the fabric here, guiding it as you go. When you get close to the pin, stop, take out the pin, put it in your pin cushion, okay, and then you continue to sew. You get close to the edge, you can use the hand wheel to rotate the needle down into the fabric. Now that we're here, we're pretty close to the edge. If I were to advance one more stitch, the needle might be going down into the bobbin case where there's no fabric, and that can cause a jam. Okay, so I always want to make sure that there is fabric going into the needle. Okay, now that I'm here, I'm gonna reverse again, 3 stitches, and then go forward again. Okay, so then you can raise the presser foot. You're going to pull out the fabric so that you have a nice long tail. Okay, and then you can clip your threads, leaving a nice long tail here. Okay, and there you go. That's the plain seam. You're going to trim your threads on either end. Then you're going to take it over to the iron, which is where I'll meet you. When you come over to the ironing board, your seam sample should look like this. You're going to use your fingers to press open the seam allowance here, and then you're just going to take your iron and press. Okay, and just like that. Okay, so now you have your seam allowance pressed open, and that is your plain seam completely done.